everyone, aloha! It's Jason Schwartz here at the Neutral Zone. Welcome to the show. Well, today is an unusual day. We swam in here.
Yes, we did.
It has been raining here for a couple of weeks, on and off, mostly on. And we have now Lake Kihei and Lake Lahaina and upper and lower lakes, different places and rivers. We are like Alabama, Arkansas, and North Carolina, and they're having their own kind of weather, but we've been having it. And I have someone who braved this weather. I'm so thankful that you're here. Sheryl Renee, thank you for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Talk a little bit more, so I want to make sure your volume's good with me.
All right.
You're
I
good.
made it here. I swam, backstroke.
Back and front. Well, you know, if you were on Maui today, you might say, Sheryl, is that the same Sheryl Renee that sings at the Pro Arts Theater? Well, she sings there sometimes, yeah. Is that the Sheryl Renee you see in Lahaina sometimes? Well, Maui's a small island, so after a while we get to see people. Sheryl Renee has been singing for 40, you can't even be 45 years.
45 years professionally, yes.
And is an amazing singer. But I don't want to start by that because we had a surprise today. My phone fell and I had to get a new phone, and the iPhone 17 has one of these universal things, USB-C, which is the new thing that says plug in me. So does my iPad, and I had things copied onto my phone and to the iPad to play all kinds of musical tracks from Sheryl Renee. But now you're going to have to go on the internet and find them, and up to our site and find them, which is good. We are here today at KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. We are simulcast on Akaku Maui Community Media at 333 Dairy Road in beautiful Kahului, or should I say Lake Kahului. Honestly, it's more rain than we've seen. I think the whole world has seen weather changes. I've been here 37 years. I've never seen rain like that. I've never seen a whole island stop because it's raining. But this is something else. They've canceled, I was going to say Broadway shows. At the Pro Arts Theater, they had Rent, an amazing performance by an incredible group of people. But they had to cancel. In fact, the first night they canceled in the middle of the show. Yes. And some of the people slept in the theater. We talking rain, baby, rain. And we needed it. But, you know, God stopped. First we had a fire, then we had a flood. What comes next? Pestilence? I don't know the order, but we are not looking to be the biblical example. We are looking to be an example of brilliance, self-sustainability. Be a model for the world of what it means to have aloha coming and going. To be a host culture like Hawaiian, man, we've been blessed, and I've been here a long time. You've been here now a decade or more, yeah?
Well, no, I've been coming to Maui since 1998.
There we go.
But I moved here almost 4 years ago.
Okay. 4 years ago. So you're relatively new, but I'll tell you, on the music scene here, you just jumped in at a professional level. And jumping at a professional level on Maui is like, wow, where are we going to play here? The hotels have their ballrooms and their guests. We have all the local clubs. They're paying people, enough to have tips. Maybe they'll replace a tip jar. So to be a professional here and be recognized as that. So I bet that you have a career that you've had all along, that you've been, in fact, do people know about your incredible interior design work and you stage real estate? We're going to let you know about that. What's the name of the website that you have for that?
For my interior redesign and professional organization, it's ReneeRenovating.com. renovating.com.
There we go. ReneeRenovating.com.
Yes.
And you just said, so you help people organize?
Yes, I'm a certified professional organizer, and I'm also an interior designer, and I call it redesigner because I specialized in pre-owned goods, decorating with pre-owned quality goods, recycling. So I'm a redesigner.
I see. So you use goods that have been used before. What do they say? Slightly used. Like, have you met David? I imagine you have. David is the guy that, when you come in on the airport or you leave on the airport, you see this giant happy, sad theater mask. Happy, sad, and it's giant. And you say, what is that? And he has a business called, this stuff used to be owned by rich people, but now they're dead. It's something like that.
I do know what you're talking about, and I've been in that store. Wow.
And he had a store in Mid-Kihei, in fact, just down the
right, and then he moved to this
theater.
New place.
And yes. So that's great. So you basically, I imagine that means you work with realtors who want to stage real estate. And
staging with property owners, property management companies.
And could really be. I mean, that's what's so exciting about it. It sounds like, and anybody that says, Doris, we got to change things here. We've been in this condo for 2 weeks, 8 years, 2 wills, but let's make believe that we're in a new place. Ready and go. Well, Doris, I see the taste you have. I've lived in your taste. Let's find a how do you find people? Just look at them and say,
I'm still trying to figure it out. Here on Maui.
You out there who say, I'd like to figure out how to change my place. It's like that couch has been there so long. It's still a nice couch. I bet that could be a redesign for someone else. Maybe I can make a deal here and come and go at the same time. So you go in and you look at a space and you look at the people and you see what their loves and.
Well, first of all, I am an expert thrifter. Okay, I mean, I'm a bargain hunting queen. I had my own radio show called Making Away with Bargain Queen Sheryl Renee, and what I do is my goal and my purpose is to help people understand that they can have a quality living space. A lot of people think they watch the shows on television, they think my place can never look like that, but it can. And the way that we do that is that we bring in a designer with an eye, first of all, because everybody doesn't have everybody has their own gifts and talents. But you bring somebody in that can look at your place and say, okay, my motto is I work with what you have and bring in what you need. So first and foremost, we're going to come in and we're just going to shift things, organize things, declutter your home, which may not be the case for everybody, but that's part of it. Decluttering, deep cleaning, reorganizing the layout in the space, and refreshing the whole room. And I do full room makeover. So if I come into your room, you need lighting, you need curtains, you need a clock, you need a mirror, whatever you need, we're going to bring those things in. And when I leave, your room is fully renovated.
Well, let's not start with this room, because first thing she said when she sat down was, we need a light in here. And I thought, she is at work.
Oh, I can't help it. I can't help it as a producer. Well, I've been a producer for over 30 years. And so when I come in as a producer, you have to look at everything. And all of that, my history in theater, I've done over 50 productions in theater, some of them great roles. In musical theater, I've been an event manager, an event designer. So between those three things, when I come in, I'm looking, and I say it's lovely in this studio out there. Everything, it just feels so cozy and nice and well put together. I mean, the whole place. You gave me the tour, and I appreciate it.
We're here at Akaku Maui Community Media. By the way, I forgot to do my normal thing, which is to tell you that when you want to see this show again, because Sheryl Renee said something, you go, I want to hear that again. Go to MauiNeutralZone.com, and there you will see all of our shows, including this one, with a full transcript, a summary of the show, and a search engine at the top of the thing where you can search anything that's anyone said for all of these shows. So when you want to find Sheryl Renee and you put in Sheryl Renee, you'll see this show and you'll say, well, what are all these other shows? If someone said Sheryl Renee at any time, that's going to come up as another. We have a search engine there. Or if you said affordable housing. So we are a community, and we're a growing community every show we do. And I wanted to include, this is only my opinion, and I haven't seen much of. There are a lot of great singers here. Amy, have you seen Amy Hanayali?
She's fabulous.
Right?
She's fabulous.
Well,
there is so much talent on this island.
That right?
It blows me away.
But this gal is great. So here in Maui, I've been here 4 years. I'm singing at the Pro Arts. You whatever you're doing, it is worth going to see this young lady when she's still here and available, because I have plans for you.
Hey.
I recognize that there's a lot of talent on Maui. A lot of talent on Maui, and you're one of them. But the thing that really attracted me to you initially was I have a friend named Davo. We were sitting and talking, and he's an artist. In fact, he was here last week.
Yes, he was.
And he said to me, Sheryl Renee, and I never knew that my friend Sheryl Renee, a really nice lady. He's hanging out with her on the west side, and then tribute to. I was going to say Elvis. No. Tribute
I
to...
have done Elvis before, just so you know.
Marvin Gaye. Or Motown.
Yes.
But you also do all kinds of different things because you're a pure singer.
Yes.
So I really like that. And I am also one of those kind of, maybe self-proclaimed in this second here, but I can sing, and I don't like being, I want to say, cast in only one thing, because when I sing rock and roll or the blues, you would think that's all I sing. Then you hear me sing Sinatra and you go, my God, you can sing Frank Sinatra and Elton John and Elvis and all these guys. So as I'm looking here on Maui and seeing talent, you who are on Maui already know Maui Arts and Music Association. Art and music with a purpose to educate people about environmental solutions that we implement here and create a model for the world. A model for the world. A dream Maui. You've heard me say that for 30 years because I've had this nonprofit and this whole thing. I've been talking about it. Well, I wanted to attract stars and people that already have talent, that already have success, but they don't have a legacy. How about helping save the world? By what? By we're going to honor you. So when I heard tribute to, I thought, well, this woman is like doing what I want to do. But she is already part of it. Why not help brand it inside and part of, not lose the identity of her? And her, she could be a nonprofit, she could be, so in other words, in this big umbrella we have, one of the things that is in there is these amazing people that now bring in talents, because if Marvin Gaye, may he rest in peace, still alive, he'd be super impressed seeing you sing. Or Gladys Knight or Aretha. Also, you sing la 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 la. I saw you do that song. I don't even know who wrote that. The Prayer. We were going to play that for you today. In fact, I'll play some things up on the website and put links in there. So when you go to MauiNeutralZone.com, you can have the full, not only what we're saying here, but links to all these things and really a doorway into our world. So I saw this woman and I said, hey, this woman is already professional, already doing it. You know, if we want to attract stars from the mainland to see what we're doing and want to see what we mean by tribute, here's someone who's already paying tribute in a beautiful way. And here on Maui, when we get our partners of XYZ Hotel, that little Pro Arts Theater gig, you're going to say, I could actually see her sing. I was so close. Because bigger venues are coming here soon.
Oh, I would love that for Maui.
Right? In fact, without telling too many stories, there was a former film commissioner here who told me that there are plans, no one named, to build a larger arena here, because without a larger arena, we can't get some of the big acts that would love to play in Maui. So that'll come. But the hotels, as we bring them into what we're doing, hotels, you're on the docket here soon, because larger rooms and larger audiences tying in with the mainland and tourism and stars who want to be able to showcase who and what they are with all, what do they say? It isn't what you have, it's what you do with what you have.
I love that.
Right?
Right.
Thank you for being here and for offering yourself here locally. So I can see why you want to be doing interior design and redesign. I'd like to really explore that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, my gift to my life has been that I have always done what I loved. I've always been able to do. I'm a second generation entertainer. My mother's Katie Love from Katie Love and the Four Shades of Black. She recorded on Muscle Shoals. She recorded on Stax Records.
Wow.
I was raised in the industry.
Were you from the South there?
I am from Denver, Colorado.
Oh.
But when I did my ancestry, yes, I am from the South.
Stax Records.
I lived in Atlanta for 11 years.
Muscle Shoals. That brings back memory when I was in the
Alabama,
music
yes.
business.
Muscle Shoals, Alabama is where my mother recorded her record, It Hurts So Good, in 1971.
Wow.
But I've been in the entertainment business my whole life.
Yeah.
And that has branched out to other things. And one thing that I really always loved to do was to put a room together. And so I've been doing it for 25 years, and I moved here to Atlanta. My business was called Affordable Room Makeovers, but when I was moving here, I saw that there was already an interior designer here on Maui that had the name Affordable in her name. So I switched my name, and now it's Renee Renovating, and just trying to get a foothold. What I offer is different. What I'm offering is budget-friendly makeovers.
This affordable one you talk about, are they in the same business?
Same business.
Oh, so you don't want to use
being an
name.
island, right? I didn't want to step on
and
any toes.
You don't want to say budget friendly, because we got some very wealthy people. You're friendly to them too.
I'm friendly to anyone.
We could be friendly
who
even
calls.
if you're very wealthy. In fact, we'll be very friendly.
But I want to say though, what I'm embracing this year is that my purpose is to reach everyday people. The wealthy people, the people with great means, they have the means to bring in the greatest designers ever. But the average person, the working class, the middle class, lower class people.
And the idea of redesign is really
to
right.
have the same thing.
The repurpose of everything is what we need to do with the whole world, right?
And especially here on Maui, we've got to keep furnishings and home goods and things out of the landfill. So what do? Let's recycle them. Let's repurpose them. Everything is vetted. I repurpose, I reshine, I fix, I make sure everything is
I know
good.
A couple of good reupholsterers, too.
Yes, we got, that it should be the first option here on Maui. And also there's such a plethora of great stores, and people, like I see on Nextdoor all the time, people are saying you can't find anything on Maui. That's not true. First of all, there are great furniture stores, new stores, several, 4 or 5 right here in central Maui. But then you've got the mom and pop thrift stores and the antique stores and the resale stores all over the island. And that's my hobby as well as my passion. So every Saturday I would hit the road and go to another part of Maui, and so I know that there's quite a bit of inventory here. So I like to pull from the inventory that's on island, work with what we have here, and keep the landfill, free of good furniture that can be utilized.
What came to my mind was I have a friend named Richard Dan. Do you know Richard Dan?
I don't.
Richard Dan is he was one of our sponsors. Will be again, Richard.
Hey.
Cash for Gold, Come High and Alone, pawnbroker. And boy, I'll tell you, I've seen airline seats from a plane that broke off in the sky somewhere in the past. All kinds of really nice furniture, sort of like a David. You see a lot of things pass by. Have you? Also, I mean, like you say, there are so many sources that you have, and that I'm going to introduce you guys. I think you'd find it to be really interesting, and maybe also a source of business, because people that are getting rid of their stuff need to redesign.
They do, and lucky, as you mentioned, we do have quite a few wealthier people.
Yeah.
And when they get ready to redo their homes, they're just giving away the things or donating the things, that they don't use anymore. And that's where the thrift stores, the Goodwills, the Warehouse, the Restore, Habitat for Humanity Restored, Salvation Army, those are the big ones here on the island. But that's where they come into play, because people don't want to pay to ship those things back,
and I
so
bet
they end up here.
They are
we
thrilled to know there's someone like you. So I hope you'll set up. If you were, can you imagine? We got a few couches here. I imagine that kind of stuff happens where you're. I say couches. Why did I say couches? It could be anything, right?
Yeah, it
really
could be
anything.
Couches, couch beds,
accessories.
the hotels,
you just come in
they get rid of their
to redesign.
things.
That makes me think about movie sets, and makes me think we really have everything here, don't we, on Maui?
We do. We really do. There is so much here. Which is thrilling for somebody like me, who's a treasure hunter.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just know that I've seen stuff here that I wonder, I don't know how much it must have cost you to bring it here, but it will cost you a fortune to take it away.
And most are not. They're not loading up.
And so you will see. So you have tremendous things to pull from. So I bet the people that have you as clients are I don't know how to say that any other way, except the people that have you as clients are thrilled because their life has been transformed around their life.
You know what? Especially after the pandemic, people realized how important their homes were. When we were stuck in our homes, and what it did is now we have these influencers. You go on Instagram, everybody. I'm learning things that I didn't know, things that we had in our lives, growing up, and it's like, no, this is how you use this, and this is what you could do with this, and it created a whole new industry of people who are now into repurposing, recycling for a living, and so but I guess what I'm doing is I'm carving a new niche, because people don't really think of pre-owned goods in a good light. There's kind of the mentality of, well, you get what you pay for, but I'm trying to change that and say, look at this $1,000 couch that I just got for $50. I'm telling you, I only paid $50 for it, and I'm going to pass that savings on to you. So it's budget friendly. My clients set their own budget. You tell me how much you have to spend, and I'm going to meet that budget. And if the budget is $500 or if the budget is $5,000, depending on what you say, and it's going to determine how I shop. Where am I looking for things? Am I going on Facebook Marketplace? Or perhaps you only want new items. Then I'm going to work with the stores that are on the island. But as an expert thrifter, my goal is always to save money for my clients. And
that was important you said that, because just because you redesign and use things that are used doesn't mean everything everything you have is used. It depends what someone wants. But
it's a mentality thing, because people are saying,
right.
Ooh, how can you sleep on a used mattress? But didn't you just travel for 4 weeks and you stayed in a different hotel every week? And not only were you sleeping in a bed that someone had just gotten out of, but everything in that, you know what I'm saying? So it's
of course.
So my thing is, you trusted that it was checked, that it was cleaned, that it was checked for, no bed bugs or no, and also, if anything that I use is going to be quality, vetted, pre-owned goods. So, it's not like we're pulling stuff out of the dumpster and putting it in people's homes. We're just finding quality things and saving them money. And most of the investors that I'm finding here on Maui, they don't want to spend any money on their units. They have, they purchased them fully furnished, even though it's the same furniture from 1980.
I was going to say 1960.
The same couches, the same rattan, the same,
Yeah.
they're reluctant. and particularly with the economy going up and down, they're reluctant to invest. So that's why what I do at Renee Renovating is so important, because I'm going to be able to give you a refreshed, beautiful redesign that's not going to break the budget. Not going to
perfect time, and especially now with all that's. By the way, you can imagine everyone out there that I was going to say the first 6 inches, if not foot, is reserved for mud at the moment. But there's a great swath of this island that's going to need some real help.
And do need help. You are so right, particularly with the devastation of the 2023 fires. And now just what we're seeing today with all the mud that people are dealing with and sweeping out of their homes, Well,
I hope you don't mind that when I have this show on, I'm going to put your website for the renovating and for the music, because, I think it's all you, right?
It's all me. And I did something over the past couple of weeks. I changed my website and I included the other things that I do.
Good.
Because I'm also I'm a website designer. I do graphic design. I do video production. I had mentioned to you I've had several shows on public access in Georgia, in Colorado. I had a radio show. But I do all of these things to just to keep the lights on. And
here on Maui, they
passions.
say, yeah, but we only can charge $20 for a ticket because that's all our audience can afford. Or if not, if you fill the house, you're going to hire musicians. Well, if you pay them scale, you'll be working here a week before you get enough money to pay them. That's the hard part about being professional in the music business. So
it really
thank you. You do something that is incredibly perfect for our island, and actually right now is the time to know about Renovating Renee.
Renee Renovating.
Oh, yeah.
I've sung my entire life. Music has always been a part of my life. But I'm 63 years old.
You're young. I'm an old guy. You're young.
I'm 63.
I know.
And
you'd like to...
I'd like, just like anybody who's done something for 45 years, you start thinking about retiring. You start thinking about doing something else. And as you mentioned, the pay scale on Maui is really geared towards background entertainers, duos, singing guitarists and ukulele persons, and it's challenging to make a living singing here.
And that's why so many conventions, they get these huge budgets.
Yes, I would have to do more of it in order to that to be my only thing. And again, at 63, I'm not wanting to do more.
And you don't want to be your own roadie, and you don't want to have to keep
I've had so much of that.
Yeah, I know.
I raised 3 beautiful girls in the music industry. Ooh. You know what I mean? I raised a family, and I'm explaining. I'm not complaining. I'm explaining that I'm really wanting my redesign business to take off here, so that I can still continue to sing. And I'm doing my show once a quarter at Pro Arts, and I'm still working with Jazz Maui, Arts Education for Children group, Bryant Neal, who has been bringing me here for 27 years to do concerts and shows, which is how I came here.
That's so interesting. I know Bryant.
Yes.
27 plus.
Okay, yes, 27 years. Bryant's been bringing me here.
He's a great guy.
I call him my brother from another mother. Well,
Any of you on Maui know Bryant Neal? You might have seen him do his Martin Luther King thing.
Yes.
But he has Jazz Maui, and it was the line of print sellers years ago.
Yes, and he's still doing his print selling thing.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Someone calling in the middle of the show. But that's because they don't really realize the time zone has changed.
Well, and that bail was for Bryant. The timing was like, hey, give this guy a nice dong.
Yeah.
No,
Bryant,
he's so good
really
for what he's doing,
guy.
working with his work with the school
and
kids,
he did the children thing for the arts.
Arts Education
and you see,
for Children.
we're the Maui Arts and Music Association, so you'd think, well, sort of they're like you. No, how Bryant is like us, that when I start recruiting members, a member organization is his nonprofit. Why? Because when you see what we're doing, those who know, those who don't will.
Love that.
That's why, who are our leaders in our world? Our musicians, our artists. I'd say our politicians, but something has happened that has turned my stomach, and I don't talk about politics in the same vein anymore. but
that's a hard subject right now.
Right.
But one
so
thing
artists
we can
and
agree
musicians, you could be anywhere in the world, and when you say
Yes.
George Clooney, you might say, I don't like his politics. I like that's. See what I mean? We don't
But
talk
I loved
politics.
him in that music. I
Right, all
loved him in that
stuff,
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if he's coming
Yeah.
to Maui, if Mick Fleetwood is here, George Benson is here. There are lots of
yeah.
people that are here. yeah. But I mean, I like Davo's story when he was talking to George at the bar, and he didn't even know it was George because he was when I met Davo, I think he was somewhere between the moon and Venus. He was out there on the Bob Dylan line years ago.
Okay. Yeah, he's
a fun
he's a character, but I love him dearly. Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
And he just has nothing but great things to say about you. And you did his website, so I know
did.
that.
I designed his
I know
website,
that that was really a good thing.
Yeah.
And we are so blessed to live on Maui. I mean, down the street I'd say there's Clint Eastwood. I remember when I saw Clint Eastwood at Costco reeling his cart in, just looked like an old man.
Hey.
One day was Clint Eastwood, and he was lucky enough that they took a tape of him. Otherwise, he's still. So here on Maui, a lot of people that are celebrities. When you come here, and you may be celebrated by us, but we're not going to haunt you and stand there and trail after you. It's got to be really a beautiful community. That's why I feel, in the future, with Los Angeles getting decimated and the film industry looking to have a home base they still are there, but with so many stars coming here, we have Maui and Oahu and Lanai. Motion pictures can be shot here. If you have a tax credit that's only 25%, and in Georgia it's 65%, but in 25% you can live here too. You can see what I'm saying. I'm leaning toward finding a way of turning this into not only a tourist destination. If Larry Ellison's son is suddenly paramount, so this Maui community is going to be the local group for a lot of people that are already here. We didn't bring them here, but they're here.
Well, and the film industry here could use the work. I mean, I am friends with Georgia Skinner.
Sure.
With the Creative
I remember
Labs.
when Georgia was doing the film thing.
Yes. She still is on Oahu.
Oh, good.
But just like everything, more. We need more.
Yeah. So that's why I look at this in the long term is we're training people here. We have people here. Suddenly we will be a formidable entry in the television and film. Suddenly, with the world as it is, we become. That's what we want, isn't it? To be able to live in paradise and still do movies.
I'm telling you, my whole goal is to stay here on Maui. I love it here. I mean, this is my heart place. This is my soul. Henry Caputo said something.
Henry Caputo
said something that was so on target. He said, Hawaii is the heart of the planet. And I completely agree. There's no place like it in the world. And I've been blessed to travel, and there's no place like it in the world. So right now I want to give back. I want to give back in every way I can. Music is so healing and so universal. And so I'm very blessed to have the gift of song. And I want to make people comfortable, and I want people to be able to feel good about their homes and, and having a place. And so these are my gifts and talents, and this is how I can give back to this beautiful island. Well,
and in lots of ways, but those are two. I mean, I'm Regenerate Maui, so when I hear renovate, using what is and finding value in what is, if in fact, it's just right up my alley. I didn't really understand that about your business and your focus. I'm glad we spent this time.
Well, I thank you for giving me the platform to talk about it.
Sure.
It's been a challenge. it's been a challenge for me to get my foot in the door, just because mainly the economic times, as I mentioned, people are reluctant to put money into, well, it's working the way it is, It's working the way it is, why change it right now? I really don't want. So, but I think most of people are thinking that they've got to spend a ton of money. They've got to invest $10,000 into
the fact that you can be comfortably affordable and help them get that freshness that they really need,
yes.
whether by situation like going on now a lot, or by just wanting a fresh start and a fresh thing and still be able to afford breakfast. By the way, if you want a good breakfast.
There's a shift.
No, I was gonna say, I came back from Lanai recently, and what I really saw there that was so amazing was, I never saw a whole community that seemed so openly happy. I was like, everywhere I went, there were just smiles everywhere.
That's that aloha spirit.
Yeah.
And you got a chance to see it.
Well, and they have a very wealthy owner of the island,
right.
But he doesn't own all the island. And whatever he's doing, he seems to be striking a good chord with the people of that island. And
employment, employment is good. They've got an outlet. They've probably
I've seen. The reason I was thinking is maybe we can show the wisdom of doing something there. That's Maui County. You, if I said we're going to do a show in Lanai, you'd be open to that, right?
I most certainly would.
I think they already have a couple of hotels, but the developing of talent, and if they're thinking about did I say thinking about a studio, or is that? How can I not know Larry Ellison's son's name? And I'm talking about Paramount Studios. Talk about being in your father's shadow. I feel, I imagine when you were growing up, did you say, oh, my mom was this? How did you strike out? You just went out, your last name?
We struggled. My mother eventually had to get a job and, was not able to fully rely on entertainment. And I feel like it affected her negatively. She had 3 kids. And so I was on a mission that I was going to prove that I could make a living, and raise my family. And and so I succeeded. And not only that, but my youngest is in New York City, and she's doing what I'm doing. She's singing for a living,
Wow.
So my mom was successful in that, myself, my brother, whose name is Skip Lynch. He's a singing drummer based in Denver, Colorado, again, which is my home. And my youngest daughter, we had followed in her footsteps. But it's a hard business. It's always been a hard business. It's always been challenging. And you have the people who do it because they love it and they've got their day gig, or they've got, they've got their security and somewhere else. And then you have the ones who are working, singing to pay the bills, and freelance musicians. And that's what I've always been, as a freelancer. And so it's challenging. And it's more challenging right now,
Yeah.
And
I remember when I first saw the Federal Express guy at my door, and it was my keyboard playing friend.
And his day gig.
Working his gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of what goes on here. The musicians love their playing of their music.
Mm-hmm.
It's, that thing about don't give up your day job. Well, you're in a stage in your life where I hope with what we're doing, you can do what you love in renovation.
Well, I really want to, and mainly I want to help people. As I said, our homes are so important. Just the relief that you get, or hopefully you get, when you walk into your doors, But if you walk in and every time you look around, your stuff is overwhelming you, you know.
That to me is the greatest thing. Most people have too much stuff.
Yes.
Why do you need 4 of these? Well, if this one breaks, or wait a minute, it's Tuesday. On Tuesdays, I go like this. And
Or
use that
you
one.
have so much stuff that you forget where the
where's
thing
the
you're
stuff?
looking for was, so you go out and you buy another. You know, that all happens. But I work fast. I like to work consecutively. So if we do an assessment and I say I can do this in 2 days, then we need to do it 2 days. We not split it, because what I have found is that I can come in this Saturday, I come back next Saturday, and your habits have moved things right back to where they were, you know. So anyway, but I work fast and I work compassionately. And, you know, I'm a people person. I'm an entertainer. So I like to put some music on. I like to say, what kind of music do you like? Whatever music they love, we put it on and we get going. I'm like a general. I mean, I just make it happen, and I love it. Well, you know, I will sing for them, but...
Will you sing for us?
Oh, sure. What would you like me to sing?
Why not? How do you say to someone? That's always the thing. It's like, what would you like me to sing? If I asked you to sing something,
give me an artist. And
okay,
give me,
see what I mean?
Just give me an artist that
That's
you love.
what happens with me. It's like, I can sing. Tell me what you want me to sing, because I don't know. How about, remember, I was going to say, do you remember? Oh, my love,
Of
my
course.
darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time.
Nice. And time goes by so slowly, as time can do so much. Are you
still mine?
I let you have that.
I was going to let her do that.
I was going to blow this microphone out. Tony was going to come in here.
Well, that's what. So when we say that this lady can't sing, it's just we don't have the hookups. So I'm going to save. I'm going to right now look at the clock, and we still have time. When you're watching the show, you're going to get to this point and say, "Is Jason really going to stop the show and play some music?" Watch this. Hey, we're back. I hope you like those couple of songs.
Oh, my goodness. Well, my website, SherylRenee.com, or Cheryl with an S. SHERY.
But even that doesn't do justice, because I was sitting there and just literally, when you can feel someone's voice and you're in the back row, I wasn't in the back row, but when I was there you just feel someone. They don't need the microphone.
So they say.
That's for the engineers. Because, I mean, certain rooms, I like standing in the EO Theater and doing it myself.
Yeah.
But,
well, I brought a show here in 2007. I brought a show here called Sisters and Storytellers, and we had a night at the EO. Of course, with Arts Education for Children group and Bryant Neal. But I brought a whole cast over here. It was a show that I had written, and but at the Pro Arts, I won the award last year for Best Cabaret.
Wow, good.
Broadway World Hawaii, Best Cabaret. I did 17 shows in 2 years.
Wow.
Over there, 17 tribute shows from Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, I said Ella already, the Carpenters. I did the Carpenters, Stevie Wonder, all the greats, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
See what I mean? You see why when I said I want to do a tribute thing, and I used the word tribute, but I really didn't think I would see someone who's already doing it. And what's really interesting, it seems like you choose, again, budgetary restrictions. You use tracks and live musicians.
I feature a live person on each show, but I do use tracks. And if I didn't use the tracks, well, one reason I used to be a track snob, musical track snob. I mean, I really was, like a lot of musicians. But at the same time, I enjoy it because I get the real feel of the songs. I've got all the orchestration. I've got all the instruments. I've got the background vocals, So if I feature, like I featured Dave Graber when I did Ella Fitzgerald, and so I went in and pulled all the bass out of the track. So he's playing bass live to these tracks. But it also, just financially, You know
that's what I'm
I
saying.
did this show. My tribute series is called Sheryl Renee Salutes, or Sheryl Renee Salute to the Legends, and I've been doing it for 25 years. I have a CD, which I offer a free download on my website, SherylRenee.com. I offer a free download of my CD in 2004. But basically, it was my personal love letter to these artists who just gave so much and fed into me as an artist and singer.
You can see that idea of that they gave to you is how I feel and how the world feels.
Yes.
To be able to talk about taking money from art and music and culture and real estate. That's another story for another day. But you see, that's the whole thing. Redirecting money that comes in as a real estate commission, or as how many artists make a third of the gate? They don't do stuff like that. Artists are going to want to be involved with us because we do things differently. You know, doing things the typical way of scrape off from the top. When people doing conventions, there's a budget of $25,000 and they have $10,000 to pay the musicians. But those musicians played only 2 gigs, 8 hours, and they got $1,000 each. And someone took 20. The big money's getting scraped off.
This is the nature of the music business. It's always been that.
Well, we're changing that. That's why I say
artists making a penny or 3 cents on every album. It's always been that way.
I remember when the album deal was Barbra Streisand's getting 10%. 5 is a big deal. You're getting usually between 3 and 5%. Mm-hmm. 3 and 5%.
And everything you do comes out of your 3 and 5%. So every video, every costume, everything that they spend on you comes out of the 3 to 5% that you've been offered. That's how the industry is, and it's incredibly wrong.
Well, but it now is except in what we're doing. That's why I say we're doing something here to help the environment, help the artists and musicians, and we're also paying tribute to those that have come before us, because we stand on the shoulders of giants, like you talk about. You're not only your mom, but all the people you that have been in this business, committed and wanting to make a living. We're going to show another way that is going to we're going to reorganize.
Hey.
Revolution, not on my plate. So do understand, I know I'm talking in big terms and big promises. Big promises come from the desire to do it differently.
And you have to speak those things. You have to put it out there. You know what I mean?
And so that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That's how it happens.
All of you, no matter where you are, if you feel it, don't be afraid to be involved. You've heard that before. Don't be afraid to be that voice, because that is the voice of God, the voice of someone that's going to make the change. You are appointed. We are appointed. And once you do it, you say to yourself, I am actually able to express It's so terrific to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
The fact that we sang just a little to show you that Sheryl Renee can sing. You go up there to these sites and you're going to be very impressed. But also, I don't want to forget that business part, because what you said is true. That getting known, once I opened my mouth and singing, people remember, Jason's that television guy.
Yeah.
I was a mortgage guy and a real estate guy all the time. Oh no, Jason's doing TV. He's not going to have time to serve you and help you. The fact is, we have 2 arms, 2 legs. We can do a lot of stuff.
And everyone I know here on Maui is doing a little bit of everything. Yeah. There used to be a joke about Jamaicans had 50
and you can get
jobs.
her to sing. When you hire her, I bet you'll get her to sing.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny, because I really, really look forward to the day that we can stand here shoulder to shoulder with people right now that I remember, like you talked about Henry Capono. It's got to be 25 years ago at the, it's now closed, but down at the Monokai, down here in South Maui, which was there for years. Simon had a restaurant there. And there was always great music. And New Year's Eve was Henry Capono and my friend Lono. And Lono is great, by the way. By the way, Lono, we're going on tour again. Sheryl Renee, Lono. You guys are going to meet soon. But we always have felt that artists want to give back. And I remember Henry, here we are on Little Maui having Henry. How many people get to see Henry Capono? Henry Capono, now what does he do? He does shows and he brings on
and
other
he's got his own
artists.
Space now.
And
He's got his own space in Oahu.
He has his own space all the time?
He's got his own venue.
Oh.
And he's featuring live music and
See, that's
I think
what
it's
we
called
all
Henry
need.
Capono Lounge or something. Look it up. But it just opened a couple of months ago or the end of last year. So he's doing big things. After the fire,
that's what
his foundation helped people like me. I was singing at Fleetwood's. I was singing at the Lahaina Yacht Club. I was singing at the Chocolate Factory and all of the different things, Mulligans. But of course, after the fires, everything stopped. And his organization, his foundation, was helping local musicians. So we got to help him and give back to him.
And not only give back to him, he's the kind of guy, like I say, can call Mick Fleetwood and say, "Hey, Mick, they're doing things to help make a difference. Who else do we know? Is Stevie around?" And that's why I say we're going to be fishing. We're fishing for you. If you're a celebrity, whatever you do, if you're someone who would like to see something where you can see something grow and be an example to the world, come on down.
Hey.
That's what Dream Maui, that's what we're all about and have been about. We've been spending all this time. It's almost hard to believe we only have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes.
And you haven't heard but a little bit of Sheryl Renee singing. So you that are on radio today, if you listen to the remake of this at Akaku and on this, you're not going to hear more music. But if you go to Maui Neutral Zone, you're going to hear a couple of songs where I stopped and started. But you can also go in there, go to Sheryl Renee and find out all about her. I think this is great because once you're up there and people say, "Oh, I know that," and they can share about Sheryl Renee and go to that site, Maui Neutral Zone, watch your show, go to everything. And then Maui, see, wait a minute, we're going to bring stars in. We're talking about stars. Their names are going to come up on our website in the search engine. What is that? That's why I say what they see here is the beginning of something that's growing, and that is really what it's supposed to be, a neutral zone. Well, we can talk about anything here. We could have talked politics.
Hey,
we're going to have politics.
The only thing I'm going to say about politics is my career highlight was singing the national anthem for President Obama when he signed the historic economic stimulus bill.
That's up there. I saw on the website.
That's my career highlight, and just continuing to be a part of this island and everything that it stands for, which is aloha and goodwill.
Well, I think one of your future highlights is going to be that you were leading a campaign, not only recruiting stars and people and businesses, you're recruiting a world to stand up for who they are, all the immigrants, everyone. I mean,
we all matter.
Marianne, we all matter, and we all can help each other and have abundance. And everything can be reused. We are just in a blessed situation when we recognize it. When I was in this, I don't know if this is important or not, but you mentioned on your website, you won a contest at the Apollo Theater, right?
At the Apollo?
Didn't you say something like that?
No.
That you were in a contest at the Apollo Theater and you won?
No. I've never. I've been to the Apollo, but I've never been on the Apollo stage as an entertainer.
Where did I hear that?
I do have all of my accomplishments on my website.
I saw that. Well, see, maybe I was listening, but I thought the Apollo Theater. When I heard it, I thought, well, I grew up in.
I wish.
I grew up in Harlem.
Yeah.
My father managed The W.T. Grant Company, maybe if you're back east, you know them. They were a chain of stores like, Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Before they were Walmart, they were, Walgreens. And Kresge's was not, before they were Kmart, W.T. Grant Company. Anyway, we were in Harlem, and I didn't know that blacks and whites weren't supposed to get along. I never knew that.
I know what you were talking about. The New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
Oh,
I was given an award by Rome Neal.
That's where maybe I heard.
Yeah, that's in New York.
I was going to play that. He was. I watched part of that interview on your website with him. What a very nice man.
Yes, he's a great person. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jason.
Well, you're going to go up there and you're going to say, boy, through Jason's doorway, I got to know about this Sheryl Renee. Jason, I don't know about him. He's a big mouth guy. But Sheryl Renee, you're right. Sheryl Renee is a superstar and a super person.
Thank you so much.
Can you imagine we only have a minute and a half left?
Wow, we are winding it on down. All talking.
Isn't that amazing?
Just a little singing and mostly talking.
Mostly talking. Well, that's okay, because we have links up there, and people are going to be able to see and hear that you sing.
Yeah.
Well, we are almost out of time, but you've been a great guest. Thank you for letting me go. I want to say off subject. It's not off subject. It's a part of your life that
you have
I felt
a dream.
Good.
You have a dream, and it's time to bring your dream to fruition, because your dream involves helping other people, such as myself, and also bringing great music to the island of Maui.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm so glad you mentioned Brian Neal. You're talking about all the good
Davo,
people.
Hey, Davo. I told him I'd give him a shout out. I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to play the closing credits, but I can't play it on here. Next week, I will have the appropriate dongle. Can you believe Apple came up with a fancy name called dongle? But this one's going to have the right end so that we could play all the music and songs. Thank you for joining us. Sheryl Renee, thank you for joining me.
Mahalo, Jason.
We are out of here. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week.